to another episode of Go Terrapins with Travis Garrison on the Field of 68 Networks. I got my brother, former Terp, Eric Hayes, joining me today. What's going on, bro, man? I definitely appreciate you joining me today, man. How's everything going? It's been a while.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. It has been a while. Everything's going great, man. I'm here in Nashville. I've been here for about 7 years and been enjoying it.
Oh man, I didn't know you was in. Okay, you in Nashville. How long you say you've been there for? Like what, 7 years?
Yeah, I'm going on 7 years here. Yep.
Oh wow. How you liking it there?
I like it a lot, man. I like it a lot. A little less traffic than back in DC, so that's always nice. But I enjoy it here.
Yeah, I only been in Nashville once, man. And that's when we was on the first round of our NCAA tournament my freshman year. It was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. But that was the only and last time I've been there.
It's changed a lot since then. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's growing big time. So it's changed a lot. Yeah.
That's good, man. Hey, man, like I said, man, I wanted to catch up with you, man. You know, let the fans know what you've been up to. How's everything going? We're gonna talk some Maryland basketball, man. So let's get down to it. Hey, so first of all, let's because you're from Virginia, right?
Yep. Yeah, Northern Virginia. Yep.
Northern Virginia. So what made you choose Maryland? What made you want to become a Terp?
Well, you know, I was growing up, I was always a Maryland fan. Like that was my team growing up. You know, being from Virginia, you know, Maryland was the closest big school. I mean, UVA was 2 or 3 hours away from where I lived. Maryland was only an hour. My dad had always liked the Terps, and that's kind of how I started following them at a really young age, and just became to love them. You know, I started watching, you know, and around Profit, and those guys were going, and those teams were great and they were good. So, you know, that drew me even more closely to them, as it was a winning program. It was close to home, and it was something that, you know, always wanted to play for them. But it was also an extra bonus that, you know, my family could come watch the games at pretty much every game. You know, kind of a fun fact: my mom and dad missed 2 games total, home and away, my 4 years. So they were traveling everywhere. Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, it was always my dream school, and it just so happened it was only an hour away.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. Like I know Steve Blake, for example. I know his parents, I think, lived in Florida, and they never missed a game. And his dad didn't like flying, I believe, so he actually drove to every game, bro.
That's more impressive than my parents. I'll give them that.
That is dedication, man. But yeah, man. So because you, I think when I was leaving out, you were coming in, right? Because you went in, you came in with Grievous in them, right?
Yeah. Me, Grievous, Landon, and Jerome Burney were the kind of the 4 that were coming in as you guys were going out. Yeah.
Right. So so y'all still was in the ACC, so you didn't get a chance to really get a taste of the Big Ten, huh? So right.
No, luckily I didn't. I'm glad I grew up, you know, obviously in that era. You grew up as an ACC fan, and you love the rivalries of Duke and Carolina and UVA and all those schools. So, you know, that's what I wanted to play in. That's what I wanted to compete against. And I don't know how I would feel if I was going to Iowa or, you know, any other Midwest school. You know, that just seems kind of weird to me. Still, right. You know, we've been in the league for, I don't know, 5 years or so. So right. I'm happy I got to play in the ACC for sure.
Absolutely, man. You got to play for the legendary Hall of Famer G-Dub. What was your experience like playing for G-Dub, man? Like, what was your experience like when you first actually, because recruiting is different than when you step on the practice and it's actually you're on a team now and he's your coach. He's officially your coach. What was that experience like, that transition, then obviously, like, you know, playing for him throughout your years?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a very hard recruiting process for him anyways when it came to me. You know, pretty much as soon as they offered, it was pretty much, okay, yeah, I'm coming there. He didn't really have to do a whole lot. I was just waiting for him to offer me. And I think at the beginning of my junior year, I committed. Committed to Maryland. So I was pretty much set to go and ready to get there. But yeah, I mean, like playing for him was great. I mean, obviously you had the experience too. You know, the way that he cared for his players and believed in them and pushed them. And, you know, my dad was basically my coach all the way from, you know, when I first started playing all the way through high school. He coached me in high school as well. And, he would get into me every now and then, but nothing quite like, Coach Williams can do.
Right.
But luckily, I mean, I was the type of player that I think kind of related to him, and obviously I was a point guard / shooting guard, so I was kind of one of the coaches on the floor, and I felt that I understood what Coach wanted all the time, and he kind of
Right.
understood me, and we never really clashed heads because we always kind of tried to do the right thing and do what's best for the team, that type of thing. So
Right.
we never really had that many head-butting situations between the two of us, but I think he's made me a better player. He pushes you, and he's the type of coach that you wanna play hard for. You wanna win for because you see the passion, you see the preparation that he puts into every practice and every game, and it's just I don't know, it's just something that I look forward to playing for.
Right.
Before I even got
Yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely know what you mean because obviously I remember you playing, and you was always the easygoing, mild tempered one. Like you was always easygoing, but then you had Grievous on the other hand. So I guess it didn't matter because you was the calm one, and then you had Grievous who was Grievous. So what was it like playing with Grievous,
there. Yeah,
man?
no, for sure. That was great, man. I mean, obviously, we were roommates and stuff. And we came in together, and obviously, he was the more outgoing and flamboyant player. But I think our games really meshed well together. We both are very very smart players, and kind of as time went on, I mean, it was just we just knew where we were going to be, knew where we were going to be on the court, and
Right.
I got him a lot of points just from assists, and vice versa. He would always be able to find me wherever I was, and I think our games just really meshed well together. And even though we weren't the most athletic backcourt to ever come through Maryland, I think the two of us kind of I don't know played very well together, and we both had the IQ to compete at a high level.
Right, absolutely, man. Like I said, I definitely remember you guys playing, man. Had some very exciting games. What was some of your best moments of Maryland? Like a story that you always tell when somebody asks you about your experience at Maryland, or a moment that you say, man, I would never forget that game or that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one that comes to mind is our senior night. It was Duke at home. Obviously, you know how those
Mm,
games go. Um, and I mean, we were still in contention to win the regular season ACC, and we needed to win that game, and then beat Virginia on the road the next game, and we would clinch the ACC regular season. So going into that game, obviously, there's a lot of emotions going into senior night, and then plus it being Duke, you're on national TV. I mean, you know how the fans react to Duke when they come to town. So
right,
it was just one of those games where, going into it, like there's no way we were losing. Like we just
right,
we just had that feeling of like, we need this game, like for not only the regular season title, but this is our last home game,
right.
for the four of us that came in together, and we ended up winning the game. And I mean, it was just one of those games that you always remember, just the fans and the reaction of the crowd and all that stuff, and being to be the senior night as well just was the cherry on top.
Right, absolutely, man. I don't think, man, to have Duke as a senior night game, that got to be exciting, man. Like you said, with the adrenaline going, it's your last home game, and to go out with Duke, man, that's
Mm-hmm.
incredible, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know that,
Yeah,
man. And like I said, me watching some old games back, especially ACC games, man. Those ACC days, man, when the Maryland fans, man, going crazy, and like I said, the senior night, you got Duke, and y'all get the win. And that's definitely a great experience right there. Like you said, something that you would never forget.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and you played in Cole for you played in Cole any seasons or
Now I,
no?
did-
You
I
missed.
did I did when we were in high school, but it's not the same
Yeah, yeah,
experience.
yeah. I wasn't sure if you caught the last year of Cole or not. I forgot about that.
Nah, I missed it. I missed it by a year. So my
Yeah,
freshman
yeah,
year, that was the first year at Comcast. It was called back then, but that was my first year in the arena.
understood. Yeah, that's one thing I always wish I could have played in Cole. Just growing up, that's what I grew up watching and going to games there. So that atmosphere was like none other.
Man, crazy, man. Like I know I've been to a couple. I went to a Duke game there once before. I think I've been to the Virginia game. But like, man, like you said, this everybody's on top of you. There's no air conditioning, so it's hot. It's super hot, man. And like you said, just then you talk about the history of it. Going to playing the Comcast, we was the first ones to play there, so there's really no history there. Whereas Cole Field, you had the Len Bias, Walt Williams, all the Len Elmos, all those guys that came before us that played there and the history that comes behind it, man. But I did have a chance to play in high school, so I guess I could just that'll be okay for right now.
Yeah.
Hey, so you had your experience at Maryland. Then once you left Maryland, you played professionally for a few years, right?
Yeah, so I ended up going over. I played in Spain and Lithuania, and then I came back and played a little bit in the D League. It was called the D League back then, not the G League,
Right,
like it is
right, right,
now, for a short stint, and then ended up, I wasn't too happy in the D League.
right,
The environment there was really not my cup of tea.
right.
Didn't really suit my game. So then I decided to end up going back to Maryland as a grad assistant after I stopped playing.
Right. What was your experience like in Lithuania? I played there for a couple of years, man. I see you was in Neptunus, so that was I played that. Yeah, I played them for a little bit, man. It was a crazy experience. Pretty cool. Lithuania was okay, but and I played in Spain for a second too. But yeah, man, that overseas experience is different. And then, like you said, you playing in Lithuania, it's a little different playing in Spain. It's two different worlds in regards to the living and the experience, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like in Spain, like nobody spoke English really, like where I was anyways. And like,
Right.
we only got you got two Americans on the team, and thankfully I had a guy who one of our dual citizenship players was Dominican and American, so he was kind of our translator in Spain. But the coach didn't speak any English. Like it was pretty crazy. Like of course you're a point guard over there, so it's kind of hard to
Oh man. Nah,
take direction.
absolutely.
It's like it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I got to Lithuania, it was completely different. I mean, it was just like freezing cold all the time and snowing and always dark, it seemed.
Right.
But both were good leagues and pretty good competition. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. Like you said about the Spain experience, and it's funny because I took Spanish a few times in middle school and in high school. I didn't pay attention at all. I go to Spain, everybody's speaking Spanish. Nobody wants to speak English at all. And like I had some Americans on my team. I had a rookie, and I had a guy who was older than me who could speak Spanish fluently. But he was like, "Look here, man. The only way you're gonna learn is if you, figure it out on your own." He'll help me with some stuff, but he made me figure it out on my own. And I'll go places and drive to stores and stuff, man. It was a struggle because, like you said, nobody, especially this town I was in a smaller town. Nobody wanted to speak English. Nobody wanted to speak English. So it was a struggle, man. But yeah, man, it was definitely a
Yeah,
good experience, though.
yeah, I learned enough to order my food and ask a couple questions, and I couldn't hold any long conversations though. But
Right.
yeah, it was
No,
a good experience for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, but before we move on to talk about some more Maryland basketball, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With the basketball season tipping off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's talk some Maryland basketball now. You said you was a grad assistant at one point. So when you was a grad assistant, were you there when Gary was there, or were you there when Coach Turgeon was there?
No, I was there with Turgeon for 2 years. Yep. Yep.
How was that? I mean, like I said, I tell people all the time, I met Turgeon a number of times, practiced with the team, spoke to him, great guy, always was welcoming back with open arms and everything. What was your experience like, being in that coaching staff and, coaching with them and then, dealing with the players?
It was a good experience, man. Like I said, like your experience with him. I mean, he was always nice to me and always welcoming. And I thought I wanted to just try and see how I liked, the college realm of things when it comes to coaching. Obviously, I was in school as well, but he gave me a decent amount of responsibility. Working with the players and um, doing a lot more, skill development and that type of thing. Before and after practice, and I would get involved during practices as well. So it was a good learning experience for me, and got to kind of see, the full, behind the scenes of what being a college coach really is about.
So were you surprised at the beginning of the season when he ended up leaving in the middle of the season? Were you surprised? Were you shocked like everybody else?
Yeah, and I could kind of see the writing on the wall that maybe by the end of the year, there would be kind of like a mutual departure, just the way the things were going and how the fans and others were reacting. But I was a little shocked at the mid-season departure. Just seemed kind of a bad time to leave. But I don't know. I don't really know either side of the story. So
Right.
who really knows what happened or what went on? But I was surprised though.
Right. And I tell people because I mean I know it's probably some other stuff going on behind the scenes, but you had the transfers come in, so you had to get that chemistry going with acclimating with that. But then, when the head coach ended up leaving, that kind of just throws a monkey wrench in everything. Even the possibility of them kind of looking because they on the paper they were looking good. Like they could have had a really good season, if everything would have meshed well and the chemistry was going to mesh well. But when the head coach steps down, and then now you got all this uproar and all this craziness around the program. As you know, we were players when how things get when things going on around the program. It can affect what goes on in the locker room, what goes on in the players' head, especially with all the confusion that's happening. Trying to get the season going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something to do, like transfer portal and all that stuff. It's good and could be good and bad because I mean, you can turn your program around in a year if you get the right people in and they mesh well and you can make it work. But somebody like Texas Tech who's done that a lot. They've brought in players and they've been able to acclimate them well and their chemistry's been good and now they're a top 15 team and you know sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. It
Right,
just depends
right,
on the group of players you have, the coaches, and how the team messes when those kids come in.
right. So, what do you see going forward in regards to? I've been to a couple of games this year, and the attendance is not like we used to seeing. Obviously there's a difference between when we had in the ACC we had that attendance, but then the Big Ten. But even now, man, it's just like man, it's barely anybody going to the games, any fans going, any students going to the game. What do Maryland need to get back on track in regards to the type of coach or the type of style that we need to get the fans back, get that energy back in the building, and then also to get that winning back going on in Maryland. I mean, not to say the winning because even with Coach Turgeon, I mean he had some winning seasons, but in
Yeah,
regards to the energy in the arena and to get the fans and the boosters happy about coming back and basically supporting the program.
yeah, no, that's gonna be an important decision coming up for our AD and everybody on the next coach. I think we got to get somebody in there that's really gonna have an energy and kind of put a shot in the arm to the program to where they're, turning it around. I mean, obviously, this is one bad year that we've had. It doesn't mean, like you said, 2 years ago we were regular season Big Ten champs, and so we weren't that far away from having great
Right,
success. And the COVID year hurt the one team that could have looked like they could have gone pretty deep in the tournament.
right,
But I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do coaching wise. But I think that's gonna be a big point of how this program is pointed from here on out. I like to see somebody that's got some experience and has got some energy and that can you know in this day and age the transfer portal is pretty important. And I think if you get the right guy in here, you can get the right players and keep the right players on the roster that are already here. And you can be back next year in the top 25. I mean, easily if you get the right guy in here. And if that happens, fans will be there. I know this our fan base. We're a passionate group, and if they don't like what they're seeing out there, they're gonna they're gonna tell you or they're gonna show you by not showing up. So
right.
I think it's very easily turned around if we get the right guy in there.
Right. And I tell people all the time, this is like one of the biggest hires off-season hires as probably is in college basketball because of, I mean, like you had Giselle, then you had Coach Williams, you had Coach Turgeon, and people will kind of, you see people starting to get restless and impatient with Coach Turge. So now they expecting to win it right off top. They expect to either win it right off the break or at least a coach on the sideline that they'll be interested to see how he does and give him a chance. Like, I heard people throwing out names like a Patino. Could you see like a Coach Patino on the sidelines at Maryland? And what do you think about that? I'm just throwing that out there, like, because that's the names that's kind of getting thrown around. Like, could you see him like bringing that success back to the program?
I mean, yeah, I do. I do think so. I mean, I think if Patino would come to Maryland, I think within 2 or 3 years we're probably back in contention. To make deep runs in the tournament. He's the type of guy who's got the credibility. He's got kind of that swagger to get guys to come, to Maryland, and I think he could be a guy who could do that. He said he's not coming. But who knows? Who knows what's really going on. But yeah, I for sure would be 100% behind that if that was the case.
Yeah, and him, he's not going to show his cards right now anyway. That's how he is. It would just happen. You know what I mean? And but I also what I tell people too is very important. What I think is very important is the assistant coaches. Because those are guys that's out there really beating the door down. I tell people all the time, yeah, Coach Williams wanted me, but you had Coach Dickerson and Coach Passos and Billy Hahn. Those are the ones I'm getting letters from every single day. Those are the ones that come to the games every single day. So the assistant coach is almost just as important as getting the right head coach. And I tell people all the time that I think it's important to have some Maryland blood on that as an assistant coaches on the sideline, just because they know the program, they know, and the fans and the boosters and alums, they know them. And then I heard some names getting thrown around, and if it was to happen, I think it'd be crucial too because of the ties that they have within the DMV area, and we do have some talented young players in the area that's deciding to go elsewhere. But if they would have the guys that could beat down those doors and keep those guys here, like you said, Maryland could be back on the map within a couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's very important, because, like you said, Gary, he wasn't coming to every game or anything like that. I mean, he was, when I was getting recruited, he was established, and you knew you were getting from Coach Williams. And, those assistants are the ones that are calling you or texting you and all that stuff. So, if somebody like Patino were to take the job or whatever, somebody like him, he brings instant credibility, to the coaching staff, and regardless of who his assistants are, and like you said, I would like to have at least one guy with some Maryland ties or some DMV ties that can kind of be a bridge. But I mean, like I said, I mean, Patino's got a big name, and I mean, kids are going to come just because it's Rick Patino. He's the success that he's had with players and his programs, and I think that's something that would happen in Maryland.
Right. No, absolutely, man. Like I said, I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open and see what Maryland does. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure the basketball community is watching the same. And recruiting season is like right around the corner. So, I mean, they got to make a decision like sooner than later. So like you said, I definitely don't want to be the AD at this moment because all eyes on him. If he make the wrong choice, you know how to, like you said, you know how the Maryland fans and alums are. So it's going to be curious to see. But man, Eric, man, it was definitely great catching up with you, bro. Man, I definitely appreciate you joining the Go Terps with Travis Garrison. Man, it's been a while since I last saw you. I know it's been like, man, since you probably was at Maryland. Like I said, we see each other on social media, man, but I haven't talked to you in a while, man. So it was definitely, great catching up with you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. It was great talk.
Well, yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna keep in touch, man. Hope take care of yourself, man, down in Nashville. I probably got to come down there soon anyway. I got some business to do down there, man. So if that happens, man, we definitely got to catch up, bro.
Link up.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. You take care of yourself, bro.
All right, you too.